Welcome to this course. The course name title is Power Electronics, as you can see from the screen. Chinese name. Well, the reason we're going to teach this course in English can be classified into two sides. First, this course, Power Electronics, is a fundamental course for every student majored in electrical engineering. I believe most of you have already know electrical engineering. You are an electrical engineering student, and this is the course that you have to attend. Okay, that's the first reason. Second reason, we want you to have a feeling how a college course is taught in English. And what's more is, we want to practice your English. So this course offers you an opportunity to practice your English. And the more important thing is, through this course, teaching in English, you have a chance to know a lot of English terminologies in the electrical engineering area. Therefore, it is very good for you to be prepared for future communications with international colleagues. In the future, you will have a lot of chance to meet with colleagues from all around the world. And English is the only international language right now for communication in science and technology area. Okay, so this course will offer you a very good opportunity to know a lot of new words, new terminologies in the electrical engineering area. Okay, those are the two reasons why we are going to teach this in English. Okay, and besides that, this semester we have a very special arrangement. You probably have noticed that we have a lot of people standing behind us, and they're going to have this course video recorded. That's probably going to be a trend for all the higher education system around the world. The college education should be open to all the these resource should be open to all the public people. Therefore, we are trying to have this video recorded. And it's also very good for you, because after the class you also have chance to review and look through the lectures after the class again, and see where review the part which you did not understand very well. But I hope this would not affect us too much, because anyway, when you are video recorded, you always feel a little bit nervous. Hope this will not affect you too much. We just pretend they are not here. Pretend it's just us. So we pretend it's just us talking together. We walk through this whole course. Okay? Those are the a few things I want to let you know before we start class. All right, let's come back to the course. I believe every one of you have already received a copy of course syllabus. Okay. Course syllabus. Okay, we will have class meetings each Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday we'll be meeting at class 3 and 4. Thursday will be class 1 and 2. And this is our meeting room. Okay, B103. Instructor Liu Jinjun, that's me. I put it there because very often students tend to forget their instructor's name. So very often we can, when I talk with graduate students many times, and I ask them, who taught your power electronics course? And many of them did not remember their instructor's name. So I hope this will not happen for our class. Okay. I listed my office, phone numbers, emails, and you can contact me through those contact information. Office hours. What is office hours? Can somebody tell me? Or you guess, what is office hours? Office hours. That's in Chinese we usually call that. My office hour means why I set up a certain time for you to come to my office and discuss with me. That's office hours. Okay. TBD. What is TBD? That's the abbreviation. What? To be discussed? Very close. To be determined. So it's going to be determined by you. Later on, we'll figure out what will be the time for our office hour. Okay? TA, teaching assistant. This time we have a team. Usually we have just 1 or 2 teaching assistants. But this time, because we have a lot of work after the class, not just because of the course, but also because of this video record things there. So we have a team of teaching assistants. We have 4 of them: Cheng Yujie, Xu Taotao, Zhang Bin, and Zhou Sizhan, who are sitting right behind you. These 4 are all my graduate students. 排名不分先后. So there's no specific meaning of this sequence. Okay, it's just following the order of their name in pinyin. But we do have a coordinator. I assign Zhang Bin as the the coordinator of the team, TA team. So I listed his phone number and email address, so you can talk to him regarding all the issues about this course. Okay. We will also arrange some discussion class, and those TAs will lead the discussion about this course, for the discussion class. Okay, textbook. I'm not sure whether each of you have already got this book. The textbook is a Chinese textbook, actually. And that's the very special thing about this course. Okay. We do have also a English version of textbook, but it's not the translation of Chinese textbook. It's more like a reference textbook. It is authored by Professor Ned Mohan and his colleagues. We can get this copy, you see, from the University Textbook Service Department. It was published, okay, the third edition published in 2003 and 2004. The reason I'm saying this is not a very good textbook for you, because this book is really more like a textbook for graduate students. Graduate students specifically majored in the power electronics area. Very thick, okay, very thick textbook, a lot of material, and also a lot of very profound material there. So not very good for this course, because this course is more like introductory course leading you to the area of power electronics. We do have some other textbooks for reference that you can find in the market, but this one I believe is one of the best. One of the best. You should have a copy, because we are going to assign a lot of reading materials from this textbook. And also it is very good for your reference for your future career. If you are still working in the electrical engineering area, this book is going to be a very good reference book. So I would ask you to also have this English version of textbook. We have a website for the course. I listed the website address. One is the website specifically designed for this course, and another website, which is the website of the Power Electronics Research Center of Xi'an Jiaotong University. Because this course, power electronics course, is mainly offered by professors from this Power Electronics Research Center. Okay? Lecture notes, both Chinese and English lecture notes are available. We do have the Chinese version of lecture notes because it's not all of you. It's only part of you. Part of the electrical engineering students, they selected this a bilingual or English version power electronics course. Many other students, they did not have a chance to select this course. So their power electronic courses are still being offered in Chinese. So we do have Chinese version of lecture notes. Those are also available through the websites. But for each one of you will get a copy, printed copy. I believe every one of you have already got that. Printed copy of lecture notes. Okay? Actually, if you selected or if you registered this course, then you get a copy. If you do not register for this course, please return this copy later on. I know there are many students, for the first 1 or 2 classes, they come, and they are very interested in attending this course. They come and they leave. And they never come back because they thought this is very difficult. So if you decide to leave, please remember, return my lecture notes. Okay, those are money. All right. Objective. I'm not going to read through this objective because I believe there's a lot of new terminologies, new words for you to understand. Maybe we can come back later to read through this. Grading. This is the most important thing for you. The final grading of this course will be based on 3 parts. You can see. The final examination is only accounting for 60%. Okay? Remember this. That's only 60%. We have 25% will be determined based on your homework and in-class tests. So we'll do a lot of in-class tests. So remember, if you do not attend the class, you do not have in-class tests. Okay, so then you lose part of your score already. Okay, and then another 15% will be based on your performance in the lab. We do have a lab training hours for this course. It will be 8 hours. You have to finish 5 projects within that 8 hours. Okay, and also partly determined by your performance in the class, in the lecture classes. For example, if you are very active in the class to answer my questions, okay, you get higher score. Okay, that's in-class performance. So you are very much encouraged to raise your questions and to answer my questions. Okay? Important notice. Discussion of the course material and homework assignments with fellow students, with TA, and with myself is encouraged. You are encouraged to discuss. But the problem solutions must be students' individual work. Sharing any part of the solutions with other students is not allowed. That's usual. For every course, this is similar. I just want you to remember this. Okay? And probably you will notice that in this course, all of your homework will be handed in through email. Okay? We'll let you know later on through email, handing your homework. So your homework has to be completed using your computers. Okay? That's one requirement. Second, I did not put it in the syllabus, but this is also very important. I ask each one of you to prepare a small booklet or just a small book to take down all the new words I have mentioned in the class. Okay, like this, like those are some of the words I mentioned. Okay, I will mention a lot of new words in the future. So I ask each one of you to prepare a small booklet to put down all these new words. And therefore, when we complete this course, 2 or 3 months later, when we complete this course, you have a booklet that recorded maybe hundreds of new words. And those are very special new words for electrical engineering students. Okay, that's a very important requirement. Okay, I do have on the second page, on the back side of this page, I do have a teaching plan schedule for the course. Well, it's just for reference. Just for reference. It's very possible, very likely we will change a little bit during the course. Okay? So that is about the course syllabus. And before we actually get into the lecture material, I'd like to say a few words about English. That's because every time when I started to teach this course, there's always a lot of students asking me questions. And the question that is most oftenly asked is how we can improve our English as fast as possible. That's the most often asked question. I do have several pieces of advices for you. Probably every time I have 3 sentences or 3 words for students to remember or for your reference. 3 sentences. I hope you can still remember these 3 sentences when we complete this course. The first sentence: the best way to improve your English is to practice English. There's no other shortcut. That's the first sentence. Just practice. Okay? This course is also providing an opportunity for you to practice. So it's not just listening. You sit here, your mind should follow my lecturing, and then you should interact with me. When I ask questions, you answer. You try to answer. Okay? The best way to improve your English is to practice English. Okay, that's first sentence. Second, do not be afraid to speak out. Do not be afraid to speak out. To speak out and practice. I know many students are not able to speak out very often because they are always afraid of making mistakes. Okay. So the third sentence I want to let you know is, do not be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, even when they are speaking their native language. So when you are speaking Chinese, you are making mistakes. Always. So I'm also making mistakes when I'm speaking Chinese, when I'm speaking English. A lot of mistakes. You will find out later. Probably in the beginning stage, looks like I'm still very fluent speaker. But later on, when you get used to my speaking, then you later on find out that I actually made a lot of mistakes when I speak English. So the third sentence is, do not be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. That's very usual. Even a native English speaker, they make mistakes too. All right? Those are the advices for you to improve your English. So I hope when we complete this course, you do feel that you really improve your English a little bit, at least a little bit. Not very much, but at least a little bit. All right. Chapter 1. For any courses, is usually about some introduction. And usually in the introduction part, for every course, we have to answer several questions, several basic questions. First, what is this course? In other words, what is power electronics? That's the first question we need to answer. Second, what is the significance of this course? Why this course is important? Or why power electronics is important? Okay. Why do we need to learn this course? Okay. Those are the two questions, usually for the introduction part. Okay. Let's see how do we answer these two questions. We will be going to discuss this through the following parts. What is power electronics? The history. We will talk a little bit about history. It's actually also going to be difficult because right now you don't have any knowledge about the details of power electronics. Applications. Okay. Why this is important? Because there's a lot of applications of power electronics in electrical engineering and in everywhere of human society. Okay. And then in order for you to have a better understanding of what power electronics is, we have a simple example. We will discuss an example. Okay. And we also want to discuss the relationship of this course with other courses in the end. What is power electronics? Okay. We will talk about this through definition. Well, that's very usual. When you are learning every other course, you have to discuss this. But we'll talk about this not just from definition, we'll also talk about the relationship with other disciplines, with other areas. And therefore you have a better understanding what power electronics is and also what are the adjacent areas, not just power electronics. And the importance, significance, and position in human society. Okay, let's start from definition. Power and electronics, those are the two words. Usually, power, in Chinese, we have a lot of translation. But in the electrical engineering area, we have two translations that are very often used. Okay. In the future, you will see that power is not just used in power electronics, used in this name, but also power is used to also represent this thing. Okay? Electronics, you already learned this before. Okay, and then I propose this definition for you. Power electronics is the electronics applied to conversion and control of electric power. Electric power, that's already you can guess that's similar. Or if we give you a Chinese translation, then you have a word conversion. This will be used very often in the future in this course. Conversion, control. Okay. So that's the proposed definition. Power electronics is the kind of electronics that applied to the conversion and control of electric power. Okay, when we talk about electric power, you might have a question, what is electric power and how do we define you have a certain electric power? Then that comes to the scale, the range of power scale. The range of power scale, when we talk about power electronics, can be as large as megawatts or gigawatts, can also be as small as milliwatts. You have to be very familiar with these units in the future. Watts. That's the unit of power. That's the unit of power. Okay? Then you have, when you put some prefix there, milliwatt or milliwatts, milli. Milli means you multiply by 10 to the minus 3, minus third power. That's milli. Okay? Megawatts. That means that's multiplied, that unit is actually multiplied by 10 to the 6th power. And gigawatt, you probably already guessed, that's 10 to the 9th power. I'm sorry. Okay, so far you will see, in the future you will see the electric power we're going to discuss could be as small as milliwatts and could be as large as gigawatts. Very huge power. Okay. I have another explanation. Maybe can help you to understand what is power electronics. The primary task of power electronics is to process and control the flow of electric energy to process and control the flow of electric energy by supplying. Supplying means provide. By supplying voltages and currents in a form that is optimally suited for user loads. Voltage and current, these are probably those two words are probably the most widely used, most often used words in electrical engineering. So the primary task of power electronics is to process and control the flow of electric energy by providing voltages and currents that are optimally suited, best suited for user loads. User loads as load. You will also see this very often in the future. Okay, that's probably a better explanation. We convert and control the electric energy that is going to be supplied to any users. Okay? Conversion of electric power. So the equipment that is going to perform this task, perform the task of convert and control of electric power is called power converter or electric power converter. You see there? Electric power converter. That's the name for the equipment or the object that is performing this task, performing the task of convert and control the electric power. Electric power converter. Okay, there are many other names, but actually they are talking about the same thing. Okay, sometimes we call that power converter. Okay, we just eliminate this electric, the word of electric. We just call that power converter. Sometimes we just call that converter because in the electrical engineering area, or even in the power electronics area, when you talk about the converter, it means everybody means electric power converter. And sometimes it's also called switching converter. Okay, switching. This name is, okay, we have this Chinese name and we have to have. Okay, power converter, that's the second name. Third name, converter. Switching converter, that's actually the exact Chinese name is like this. Switching converter. Okay, power electronic circuit, power electronics converter, those are all talking about the same thing. Talk about the same thing. Therefore, this thing actually performs the task of convert or control some input power, electric power, to output power. Okay, therefore we need control. We need control to do this task. And then in the following part of this page, we have a classification of electric power. There are two types of electric power. We already know that. DC, that's the acronym for direct current. AC, that's acronym for alternating current. Okay. Then when we talk about the conversion of electric power, you talk about DC energy, you talk about AC energy, then you may ask, what can we change? What can we convert? What are the properties that we can convert for DC energy, and what are the properties that we can convert for AC energy? Well, we already have answer here. For AC, it's very obvious. We can change AC energy frequency. You know? Frequency. Okay? We can change magnitude. Those are the things we very obviously we can see we can change. Okay? But also there's another one, number of phases. Phase. We know for AC energy we have three phases, three-phase circuit. We have single phase, three-phase, single phase. Okay? AC energy. You can actually change single phase energy to three phase, or you can change three phase to single phase. Those are also the properties you can change during the conversion. Okay? For DC, now you understand that's simple. For DC energy, the only thing you can change, the only property you can change is the magnitude. Because DC energy, that's just constant voltage or current. The only thing you can change is the magnitude. There's no frequency, no phase, usually. Okay, based on that classification of electric energy, AC and DC, we can classify the power converters into four types. Four types. If we are changing AC to DC, very simple name, we have a very simple converter name. That converter is called AC to DC converter. Okay. AC to AC, if we are changing AC energy to another AC energy, that's called AC to AC converter. So very simple. So you can guess. Changing DC to DC is called DC to DC converter. Changing DC to AC is called DC to AC converter. But we do have a special name for each type of converter. AC to DC is also called rectifier. AC to DC is also called rectifier. Rectifier, the Chinese name is okay. And AC to, let's see, DC to DC, another name, chopper. Okay, DC to AC, we also have a special name, inverter. AC to AC, that's complicated. Well, that part is a little complicated. We have two names according to two different situations. If we are not changing frequency, the output side AC energy has the same frequency as the input side, then that is usually called AC controller. AC controller, because we're not changing the frequency. We're just changing other parameters like magnitude. Okay. If the output frequency is different from the input frequency, then that is called frequency converter. Frequency converter. Or another name is cycle converter. So you can see we have all different names. Almost every English terminology we have a Chinese translation. Well, that's Chinese culture. You don't see this in other countries very often. Other countries, many of them, they just use the English textbook. So they just borrow the English terminology. Okay? But Chinese language is very, very different. Well, our ancestors, the previous generation of scientists and engineers, they translate all the English names in science and engineering into Chinese names. That is very good. Okay? Very good for the Chinese language. Okay? Those are the 4 different types of power converters, so based on the different types of electric energy. So we will talk about, in this course, we will talk about these 4 different types of power converter, one by one. Okay? That's going to be a major part, actually, for this course. And very often, a power converter appears in the form of power electronic system. Power electronic system. You probably already learned this word before. The reason is, when you actually make a power converter, you need not just the converter itself, you also need a controller. And this controller usually will do measurement of the signals in the input side and the measurements of the signals at the output side. Measure those signals from input and output. And then, based on the commanding, based on the, usually you have a commanding or reference. Commanding, reference, based on that, and also based on the measurements from input side and output side, this controller decides how to control this power converter. So this is the usual form. Therefore, usually a power converter along with its controller, including the corresponding measurement and interface circuits. All these things together is also called power electronic system. Okay, interface circuit. Interface. you probably already know this before, interface circuit. All these in together is because you have so many things, not just power converter, but also you have measurements, you have a controller, you have a reference, you have a commanding, you have interface. All these things together, usually we call that power electronic system. Okay, take a break.